Welcome to the GameRamble video review for Open Sorcery, narrated by me, DarkCloud. As always, the full text version of this review can be found on the GameRamble website linked below. The TLDR is that Open Sorcery is a gripping text adventure that opts for an intuitive keyword-based interface over a cumbersome parser. The result is a streamlined, engaging, and well-written game that you won't want to stop reading until you see the end credits. It's not a very long game, but there are many different endings and many branching story paths to get to them, so the replay value is very high. It's not a game for people who hate reading or must have the best graphics in their games, but anyone with even a passing interest in magic or technology should find it thoroughly enjoyable. Gameplay receives a 9 out of 10. The game is simple enough that anyone can play it, but so engaging that you'll want to complete it multiple times to experience everything. Graphics receives a 9 out of 10. The visuals are virtually non-existent, but it is a style that doesn't hamper the experience in the least. Sound receives an 8 out of 10. It may be a bit too minimal, but it allows players to read the story without too many distractions. The overall score for Open Sorcery is 8.7 out of 10. And now for the full review. One of the three laws that the British science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke came up with is that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Open Sorcery is a text adventure that embraces this law, while proposing that the opposite is also true. The result is a fascinating game that fuses magic and technology in such a creative way that you can't help but get sucked into the story. Plenty of games have combined the two different worlds of science and magic, but in almost all of them these two forces are at odds with each other. The opposite is true in Open Sorcery, and the two forces feel like a natural match. The story of Open Sorcery is viewed through the eyes of Bells, a fire elemental bound with C++ code to serve as an elemental firewall. As Bells, it's your responsibility to keep an eye on 4 locations and protect the people there from harm. 2 of the locations are the homes of your creators, but you must also serve as the protector of a school and a nursing home. This task is complicated by threats that can take the form of anything from poltergeists and curses to other elementals and things even stranger. As a fire elemental, eradicating these threats with fire is entirely within your power. Still, a whole new world of possibilities can open up if you engage them in conversation instead. You might discover that some of the threats are more of a nuisance than a threat, while others could even become allies. Choosing words over flames is also the only way that you'll learn anything new, which is quite important for Bells. Although Open Sorcery is a text-based adventure, you don't have to worry about typing obscure phrases into a parser. Apart from one section that requires you to put together words to answer a few riddles, the rest of the game merely requires you to click on keywords to make your choices. Initially we thought this would limit your freedom in the game, but nothing could be further from the truth. Not only are there numerous choices to make, but they actually have consequences that affect what you can do down the line and even how the game ends. Do you stick to your programming and simply fulfill your duties? Do you test your limitations and improve yourself through the things that you learn? Or do you go off the rails completely, burn everything in sight and turn on your creators? All these options and more are at your disposal, meaning Open Sorcery has a lot of replay value. The game takes place over the course of 1 week, and each day you're in charge of the choices that Bells get to make. Most days begin with you scanning the 4 locations for threats and then dealing with them in some manner. All threats have to be identified first by determining what their matter and motives are. Matter ranges from light, fire and earth to air, water and dark, while motives consist of chaos, fear, death and love. So for example, if you read about something scaring someone at night, the chances are good it's something with dark matter and a motive of fear. All of the matter and motives in the game can be learned from these threats if you play your cards right, but it's impossible to learn everything in a single playthrough. Your time in the game isn't just spent searching and eliminating threats, you can also interact with the humans under your care. Contacting people who are under threat can help strengthen your bonds with them, and gaining their trust is often vital if you want to depend on them later. The way in which Bells learns new things and incorporates them is pretty cool, and you eventually gain the ability to dream at night when your tasks are completed. The fact that the story managed to suck us in so quickly is all thanks to the excellent writing style of the author of Open Sorcery. She has somehow managed to weave an enchanting tale without drawing anything out unnecessarily. Just like a good book, this game can make you care about the characters and what happens to them, even if you've only known them for a few paragraphs. Although Open Sorcery features a couple of somewhat unexpected images late in the game, most of it is played out on a text screen that looks a lot like MS-DOS. Characters have different text colors for their dialogue, and the game sometimes uses unique text placements to emphasize actions, which is rather neat. Clicking specific keywords in the game might even open up external websites and Wikipedia articles. The audio is as minimal as the visuals, so there is basically no music, and only the occasional sound effect to liven things up. Playing Open Sorcery is as easy as pointing and clicking at your available options, and then reading how things play out. In a nice touch, sometimes some options are grayed out if you still need to unlock them, so you'll always know if you missed something during your playthrough. The game can also be saved at any time, allowing you to explore different paths without worrying about being locked in. Overall, Open Sorcery is a game that caught us by surprise and had far more of an emotional impact on us than we have ever expected from a text adventure. The intriguing world setting, interesting characters, and unique situations all add up to a game that is engaging and addictive. Anyone who has grown up reading those choose-your-own adventure-style books will feel right at home with Open Sorcery, but it keeps the text brief enough that it never makes you feel like you just want to skip to the good parts. This is just one of those games that you simply have to experience for yourself if you can appreciate a good story and imaginative setting. Thanks for joining me for this Open Sorcery PC review. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.